Cowboys Nation. It's time to dive deep into something that's been creating waves in Cowboys circles lately. You've heard the rumors, seen the headlines, and yes, Troy Aikman has spoken. The Hall of Famer, a legend in Dallas, has some tough love for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, and it all revolves around a name we're all too familiar with, Derrick Henry. Stick with us as we break down why Troy believes the Cowboys should be kicking themselves for not signing the future Hall of Famer. Hey everyone, welcome back to Cowboys News TV. Before we dive into today's hot topic, let's make sure you're all part of the conversation. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. It's super important, and it helps us grow. We're so close to reaching 12,000 subscribers, and your support is what fuels this community. Help us get there, together. Now, let's get into it. Troy Aikman, the man who's synonymous with Cowboys greatness, didn't hold back this week. He's been dishing out critiques of the Cowboys, and this time it was all about missed opportunities, and more specifically, missing out on Derrick Henry. During Monday Night Football, while calling the Ravens vs. Buccaneers game, Aikman subtly threw shade at teams who had the chance to sign Henry but passed on it. And let's be real here, he didn't have to say it directly, but we all know who he was talking about, our Dallas Cowboys. What do you think? Should the Cowboys have signed Derrick Henry? Let me know in the comments below. Let's start a poll, vote right now. Would Derrick Henry have changed the Cowboys season? Yes or no? We'll dive into your thoughts later in the video. So, what's the deal? Derrick Henry, a 30-year-old running back, is proving he's still one of the most dangerous players in the NFL. Just last week, he ripped off an 81-yard run for the Ravens, and Aikman couldn't help but point out the obvious. There's gotta be a lot of teams out there who had opportunities to bring in Derrick Henry that are kinda kicking themselves for not doing it, Aikman said. He didn't name names, but come on, we know. It's the Cowboys he's talking about. Imagine this, Derrick Henry in the star, playing in Dallas, where he even said he wanted to be. On the Pivot podcast earlier this year, Henry mentioned that joining the Cowboys would have been a perfect situation, and yet, according to him, the Cowboys never reached out. Can you believe that? A chance to land one of the most dominant backs in NFL history, and we didn't even make the call. It stings, Cowboys Nation, it really does. What do you guys think? Should the Cowboys have reached out to Derrick Henry when they had the chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments section, we want to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, we've got so much more Cowboys content coming your way. Now, here's where it gets even more frustrating. Through 7 games this season, Derrick Henry is averaging a ridiculous 6.5 yards per carry. He's on pace to set the single-season rushing record. And meanwhile, here in Dallas, we've brought back 29-year-old Ezekiel Elliott, who is currently averaging 3.5 yards per carry, half of what Henry is doing. The Cowboys' run game? It's been stagnant at best, with the team averaging just 3.5 yards per carry overall. Can you see why Aikman thinks we missed out big time? Alright, time for another poll. Who would you rather have leading the Cowboys' backfield right now? Derrick Henry or Ezekiel Elliott? Cast your vote, and let's see how Cowboys Nation feels about this one. And here's where it gets interesting. Ever since Henry signed with Baltimore, Jerry Jones has been dodging questions about why the Cowboys showed no interest. In typical Jerry fashion, he doesn't like the local radio hosts questioning his decisions, but what about now, with Aikman weighing in? What will Jerry say? Will he continue to defend Ezekiel Elliott, or admit that maybe, just maybe, the Cowboys made a mistake? We all know Jerry Jones is no stranger to controversy, and this situation is just the latest in a long line of questionable personnel decisions. We're halfway through the season, and the Cowboys' run game has been a major point of criticism. Could Derrick Henry have been the missing piece? Aikman seems to think so, and it's hard to argue when we see Henry tearing it up in Baltimore while our run game struggles to get going. Remember guys, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We've got more insights, breakdowns, and news coming your way. Be part of Cowboys News TV and help us hit that 12,000 subscriber goal. Your support means everything, and we want to keep bringing you the content you love. So, Cowboys Nation, as we sit at this crossroads, we have to ask ourselves, did we miss out on something special with Derrick Henry? It's a question that looms large as we push deeper into the season. Troy Aikman's words certainly sting, but they come from a place of experience and love for this team. Will the Cowboys get their run game back on track, or will this be the decision that haunts us? Only time will tell. Before we sign off, I've got one last question for you. If Derrick Henry was in Dallas right now, where would we be? Would we be a dominant force or still struggling to find our identity? Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, make sure to subscribe if you haven't and share this video with all your Cowboys friends. Thanks for watching Cowboys News TV, where we bring you the latest, greatest, and sometimes hardest to swallow news about our beloved team. We'll see you next time, Cowboys Nation. Stay strong and keep the faith. There's always another game to be won. But let's not forget, this isn't just about Derrick Henry. Troy Aikman's critique digs deeper into a larger issue with the Cowboys' front office decisions in recent years. When you've got a player like Henry, who is open to signing with your team, a guy who could completely transform the dynamic of your offense, and you don't make the move, well, that raises a lot of questions about the team's strategy. And it's not the first time we've seen a missed opportunity like this. What do you think, Cowboys Nation? Are there other players you think Jerry Jones should have made a move for this offseason? Maybe a wide receiver to boost our offensive depth? Drop your suggestions in the comments. We want to hear from you. Let's start a discussion. Now, let's talk about Ezekiel Elliott for a second. Zeke's been a fan favorite in Dallas for years. We've watched him put the team on his back and grind out tough yards. But now, at 29 years old, we're seeing that decline. The production just isn't there the way it once was. And look, I get it, Zeke's heart is still in the game, he's got the fight, but at some point, you have to ask, is it time to pass the torch? Troy Aikman seems to think that moment has already passed. Just imagine how different things could be if Derrick Henry was in the mix. We're talking about a running back averaging 6.5 yards per carry. That's a game-changing difference. You give Dak Prescott that kind of support, and suddenly our offense has a whole new identity. Defenses can't just sit back and focus on stopping the pass, they have to respect the run, and that opens up so much more for CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and the rest of our receiving core. Let's turn to you guys. Do you think Derrick Henry would have been the perfect complement to Dak Prescott and our offense? Let me know in the comments, and while you're at it, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're so close to that 12,000 subscriber milestone, and every single one of you helps us grow this amazing community. Plus, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And let's not forget, this isn't just about one season. We're talking about a move that could have had long-lasting implications for the Cowboys. Derrick Henry still has gas in the tank. He's proving it every single week with the Ravens, and as Aikman pointed out, there are a lot of teams that are regretting their decision not to bring him on board. For the Cowboys, this could be one of those moves we look back on as the moment we let a potential Super Bowl run slip away. Now, let's break down the numbers. Derrick Henry is currently on pace to set the single-season rushing record. That's not just good, it's historic. And when you compare that to the Cowboys' ground game this season, the contrast couldn't be more stark. As a team, Dallas is averaging just 3.5 yards per carry. That's less than half of Henry's production. So when Aikman says the Cowboys are kicking themselves, yeah, I think it's safe to say he's got a point. So here's the big question for you, Cowboys Nation. Do you think the Cowboys' current struggles in the run game are the biggest issue holding them back this season? Or is there something else that's more pressing, like the defense or coaching decisions? Let us know what you think in the comments. We're reading all your feedback. Of course, Jerry Jones isn't a man who likes to admit mistakes. After Henry signed with Baltimore, Jerry was quick to downplay any talk of the Cowboys needing a running back. He defended the decision to stick with Ezekiel Elliott, even as the criticism started rolling in. But now, with Aikman adding fuel to the fire, it's going to be interesting to see how Jerry responds. Will he double down and defend his decisions like he usually does, or will he finally admit that maybe, just maybe, the Cowboys missed out on something special here? Alright, let's get a little interactive here. Do you think Jerry Jones made the right call sticking with Ezekiel Elliott, or should he have made a play for Derrick Henry? Vote in our poll, and let's see where Cowboys Nation stands on this one. Looking forward, the Cowboys still have plenty of time to turn things around this season. But with each missed opportunity, the window of time to make a serious playoff push starts to close. We've got some tough matchups ahead, and the run game will need to be a big part of our strategy if we want to compete with the best teams in the league. So, Cowboys Nation, we've got to ask ourselves, what happens next? Will Ezekiel Elliott find his form again and prove the doubters wrong? Will Jerry Jones make a move at the trade deadline to bolster our run game? Or will we be left wondering what could have been if Derrick Henry was running wild in the blue and silver? Before we wrap up, make sure to subscribe to Cowboys News TV. We're bringing you all the latest updates, analysis, and breaking news about America's team. And remember to hit that notification bell so you're always the first to know what's going down in Dallas. We're pushing hard to hit that 12,000 subscriber mark, and with your help, we can make it happen. Plus, we love hearing from you, so keep those comments coming. Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for tuning in to Cowboys News TV. We'll catch you in the next video. Stay strong, Cowboys Nation, and let's keep pushing forward. There's a lot more football to be played, and who knows? Maybe the best is yet to come. See you next time.